everyone, my name is Krista Botsman, and today I'll be talking about the maple syrup urine disease, a rare but serious genetic disorder. It has a unique name because one of the key symptoms is that the urine smells like maple syrup. Let's dive into the genetics, symptoms, and treatment of this fascinating disorder. Some of the key information we'll be going over in these slides are: what is MSUD, maple syrup urine disorder? Prevalence and populations affected, onset and prognosis, genetic basis, molecule and cellular impact, symptoms, diagnosis, treatment, reflections, and references. MSUD is a genetic disorder that affects how our bodies process certain amino acids, specifically lysine, isolysine, and valine. Normally, our bodies can break these down for energy, but in MSUD, a defective enzyme causes them to build up, leading to serious health problems. In this chart, it shows maple syrup urine disorder can't break down certain amino acids called branched chain amino acids, or also known as BCAAs, which, like stated before, are lysine, isolysine, and valine. This problem happens because a special protein that helps the process of these amino acids doesn't work properly due to genetic changes. If the body can't break down these amino acids, they build up and cause serious health issues. MSUD is extremely rare, affecting about 1 in 185,000 people. However, it is much more common in certain populations like Mennonite, Amish, and Jewish communities because of a genetic factor passed down through generations. This chart here just shows how that disorder can be passed down by carriers. Be warned, on the next slide, there's graphic content. There are different forms of MSUD. The most severe, classic MSUD appears in newborn, while milder forms may develop later. If left untreated, the disorder can be fatal. However, with an early diagnosis and strict dietary management, people with MSUD can live a normal life. These pictures here show classic MSUD in a young infant. This one shows how it can soon rapidly get into milder symptoms, and the final one shows how it can get to the final stages and become much more severe. MSUD is caused by mutations in the BCKDHA, BCKDHB, and DBT genes. These genes help make an enzyme complex that breaks down certain amino acids. Since the disorder is an autosomal recessive pattern, a child must inherit one defective gene from each parent to develop MSUD. Since the body can't break down lysine, isolysine, and valine, these amino acids build up in the blood and brain. This leads to neurological symptoms like seizures, developmental delays, and even comas if left untreated. This chart just shows the BCKD, and this one shows the chemical compound of lysine, isolysine, and valine. A major hallmark of MSUD is that the urine and earaches have a sweet maple syrup-like smell. Other symptoms include poor feeding, irritability, and in severe cases, seizures and comas. Patients are also vulnerable to metabolic crises where the amino acid rapidly builds up to toxic levels. MSUD is usually diagnosed shortly after birth through newborn screening. If high levels of lysine are detected, Genetic tests and enzyme activity tests confirm the diagnosis. This is showing how in the brain you can detect maple syrup urine disease. Managing MSUD requires a strict low-protein diet to prevent amino acid buildup. Special medical formulas provide the necessary nutrition. In some cases, a liver transplant can effectively cure the disorder by supplying a healthy enzyme. This is showing how this is a normal diet and how it processes, and this shows a diet of proteins for an MSUD person. This shows the digestion of proteins and how it goes into amino acids, and this is just showing before liver transplant of an MSUD person to after the transplant. I found MSUD really interesting because it has a unique name in how simple medical error can have such serious consequences. Learning about the dietary management and liver transplant option was fascinating because it shows how science can change lives. This is also an organization that helps with MSUD. Any questions? If you have any questions, I can't hear you, so these are some of my references. Thank you.